Hello, 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 and welcome to the Clapped Podcast. I'm your host, Kunst, aka Daniel, and today we are having an amazing episode because we are going to talk about my bike breaking down, the iPhone 14 Pro, the Airpods Pro, the Apple Watch Ultra, and some gym stories. I think that's a nice way to start it off. I'm going to start with the gym story because it happened today, this morning, which just annoyed me just a little bit. So I just wanted to talk about it with someone. Anyways, what happened was that I was early at the gym. I was at the gym at like 7 or 6 in the morning. There was nobody there. After a while, like 20 minutes in to my workout, someone did come into the gym, was there to work out as well. He was hitting chest as well. I was that as well, too. And he chose to choose, when he was going to do some incline bench presses with dumbbells, he chose to pick the bench just next to me. Like, sure, if it's the packed gym, I can understand why someone would be next to someone. But the gym was totally empty. It was just us two. We're the only persons there. And there's a row, like by the mirror, of like 10 benches that he could pick. And there are, like, the weight are also the same, like, at most of the benches. So it doesn't. He didn't have to sit next to me because that's where his weight was. That was the dumbbells he needed. He could sit like at least like one bench apart. It's a small thing, but it was kind of like, why? Why would you sit just next to me? Like, giving me some space. You could get some space as well. Like, why would you choose the bench next to someone else when there's nobody else? So yeah, I was pretty quick on leaving from that bench after he sat down. It was annoying. I don't understand why he could just pick. I personally, when I pick a bench, I try to take a bench, like one bench apart from somebody else, because I personally like the space, especially if I push the weights or spread my arms. There's more room to do it, and if both people are, for example, doing flies on the bench, then you're going to start to hit each other in the arms with the weights because of the length of the arms. So it's really inconvenient to actually like sit just right next to somebody. Like, no, don't. That's a small rant for the beginning. I guess I could talk about some other gym rants I have. For example, one time there was this guy. I just saw him wearing like his jacket and outer clothes. He just entered the gym, and he goes with the water bottle and places it on the bench. He just places his water bottle on like the bench press bench, and then he goes for the lockers. Like, he just fucking held off a bench so he could go and change into his clothes and stuff. He was gone for like 10 minutes, and he just held off a fucking bench press. There's two bench presses in the gym. There's one good and one bad. He, of course, held off the good one while he went and changed into his gym clothes. I don't like that. I don't. It's so it's stupid to like complain about, but it's still annoying. Like, doing that kind of stuff. Like, you can just wait. I just realized I say like a lot, so I will calm down with those. I'm sorry. But anyways, moving on. I think I will probably do some gym rants for the next episodes coming up and just continue with those. I think that will be like a fun little segment of the show or the podcast or whatever you want to call it. There's a video format, so it's kind of a show. It's still a podcast because of the way I'm doing it. I would call it a podcast / show, I guess. But anyways, moving forward, let's talk about, first of all, the one thing that I was super hyped about was the AirPods Pro 2nd generation. Ooh, big stuff, big stuff. They got announced 2 weeks ago, or 2 weeks and 2 days. No. Okay, wait, they got announced like almost 3 weeks ago. 2.5, I would say. I got super excited. I have been waiting for the 2nd generation of the AirPods Pro for quite some time right now. And they finally announced them, and they have released them. I pre-ordered them as soon as possible, and I have them. I have enjoyed them for about 24 times 2 hours, so 48 hours, and they are a delight. I love them. The reason I bought them was because my first pair of AirPods Pro was stolen in Legoland. Somebody chose to steal my AirPods when I was in Legoland with my family for about a year ago. It was a sad day. Luckily, the insurance got me the money back. I was stupid. I didn't buy a new pair of AirPods Pro. I chose to try something different. Baddest decision I've ever made. I chose to buy some pair of Bang & Olufsen EQ Airbuds wireless. So bad pair of earbuds. During my whole time of owning them, I just missed my old pair of AirPods Pro like so much, because I just loved how the AirPods just connected perfectly to all my Apple devices, how you could use it with your Apple Watch, with your Mac, and it just connected easily between the devices. And just the fact that it was just way better, like honestly. The noise cancellation was better, the fit was better, the transparency was the best. I think Apple is industry leading on the transparency part of like sound, earbuds and headphones and all that kind of stuff, because they are nailing it. It's almost like you're not wearing earphones or earbuds when you're activate the transparency mode, and you can just use the earbuds without having to take them out. You can just walk around, talk with people, like do whatever with the transparency on, and it's almost like you're not wearing anything, which is great in my opinion. And especially with the new ones, I can start getting into those. The transparency is it has adaptive transparency now, which means it kind of it like lowers down like loud annoying sounds like outside, for example a jackhammer, if it's like some like going like crazy, like noise you don't really want to hear and you don't need to hear because of your safety. It doesn't matter, it's just annoying, it's interfering just with your life, so you can kind of cancel those out at the same time as just keep the other noises still with you, which I think is great. I haven't really noticed it that much, but I think it's working. But yeah, I enjoy them. They are great. I have always loved AirPods. The first pair of AirPods, I got them 2 days before they released. I was so happy with them. I gambled and was like, okay, Apple making wireless earbuds, that's crazy. I need them. I trust in Apple's products mostly. and I gambled. I bought them before knowing reviews or anything, and they were a hit. Everybody bought them after a while. In the beginning, people was like, I don't know, they look stupid. And everybody have them. Everybody wear AirPods, mostly. So unless you have a wire, but we're not going to talk about wires because I hate wires. I had to wear because I sold my Bang & Olufsen earbuds after they kind of broke. They had like some issues, technical issues. I think a lot of their pairs have technical issues, from what I understand, from seeing around with other people. And so I got them repaired, or I got a new pair. I did actually get a new pair, so I just sold them and got the money to pay rent that month instead, because I didn't want them. No way. I hated them. They were just they were more a hassle than like making things easy. So I started to just wear earbuds with wires, and I also changed a bit between the Bose Quiet Comfort 35 when I worked it out, and didn't want to use my AirPods Max for if there's a bad weather. I don't want to go out in the rain with my AirPods Max. I'm not risking that. Neither with going out jogging or working out. I'm not wearing those. That's risky. I'm not about that risky life, you know? So, yeah, I sold them. I just wear it with wires, and now I finally don't need a wire anymore between my AirPods and my phone. It's so great. The connectivity between the AirPods and the iPhone just goes so smoothly. They are amazing. I love the sound quality. It's great. It's perfect for me. They're great for podcasts, for music, for video. I haven't watched a movie or a TV show yet with them, but I know how the spatial audio works. I know how they are with the headset. I think it's great. Sometimes I watch a movie on my TV, on my Apple TV, with my AirPods Max and use the Dolby spatial audio sound, and it's great. It's like having like your own personal home speaker system, and you don't have to bother your neighbors with super loud sound, which is also kind of fun or nice because I hate to play loud music, and you don't really know if you are bothering your neighbors because they are not like they are not going to say to you, or most of the time they actually don't say anything about it, so they kind of just sit there, and maybe one day all of a sudden you get like a big complaint. So I would rather just be safe, not to have too loud volume, or just wear my headphones. I think that's perfectly fine. Most stuff sounds better on the headphones than on the TV speaker anyway, so it's kind of worth it, really. But yeah, the AirPods Pro's second generation's touch control is great. The volume, you just swipe up and down. I use it all the time because I don't really want to all the time have to press the buttons on my phone when I want to turn down and up the volume. So I can just swipe up and down. Works seamlessly. It's great. The little noise they make when you go up and down or press pause and play, and transparency mode off and on and all that works great. The case makes sounds now. When you charge it, for example, it's great. I think everything about them is great. I love them. I really recommend them. I don't know if you really need them if you have the AirPods Pro, but I really recommend them anyways. I think they're great. I am using let me show you, the lanyard loop. I've not worked around with the case yet that much. I'm still always with new products. I'm a bit like careful to not mess them up too much in the beginning. Try to keep them as new as possible for at least like a month or two till I don't really care that much about the keeping them in the best of shape. because they are going to be able to take a beating. I know that for sure. But I like to keep them clean and stuff, at least in the beginning, and then you kind of get used to like the quality and how strong it is, so you can be a bit more reckless if you feel like it, you know. But yeah, that's the AirPods Pro. Dos. Moving on, I think I can talk about what do you think about my bike story. Is that interesting? My bike broke last week, like a week ago now. It was super sad. I was going uphill with my bike, and I was going to shift gear because it got heavy. It was hard to bike up. I had like the highest gear possible, and it's an old bike. It's 10 years old, so I'm going to shift the gear. It did not go too well. And then shifted, the gear got caught into the wheel, and it bent into the wheel. So yeah, that was great. So it was unusable. Super sad, really, because I just went through my head like, oh shit, I use my bike to get to and from school. I use it for work because I deliver food on my bike. I love that. I really enjoy that. And I use it for like basically school and work. I really need the bike. So having it break down on me like that was super sad. I love my bike. But luckily, I did get a new bike 2 days later. After my bike broke down, I had to take a bus to my apartment to get home. I was wearing my courier bag on my back. Had to take the shame walk to the bus station and sit on the bus with a food delivering bag, like a big one, you know. They are pretty big, so it's like pretty obvious that you've messed up. I think. I don't know. Probably people really don't really notice that kind of stuff, I guess, but it was still like, now I had to sit on a bus with my bag, and the next day I had to take the bus again to get to school. I really don't like the bus. It's been like just the day after when I had to take the bus, it really like told me like, I don't like bus. I don't like to take the bus. I hate it. I got late. That's the first thing. I planned everything. I was super smart. I checked Google. I was okay. If I leave then, I will get there at that time. Okay, so I had to walk to the bus station. Takes like 8 minutes. I sat on the bus, and there was a big traffic jam. So I had to sit and wait on the bus for like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes more than planned. And then I also have to walk the rest of the way from the bus station to the school. It's like 8 minutes. So it took way longer than when I take my bike. It takes around 13 minutes minimum to get from my apartment to my school. So I can leave pretty late, just before school. But with the bus, I had to leave like 45 minutes before school. It's too much. I really needed the bike. So I took my old bike, went to the repairs, asked, okay, listen, it broke. They got super surprised. The mechanic was like, yikes. When he saw the bike, I don't think you have seen too many bikes that look like that, with the fucking gear like bent into the wheel. It looked awful. So I took it there. He said, you might have to wait like, I don't know, I guess 2 weeks for a part, and it cost like $100+ to fix it, just in general. So I said, you know what, I will think about it. I will maybe have to look at a new bike. So, but before I started to look at new bikes, I went to another repair just to get a second opinion, like you do with doctors and stuff. And he kind of said the same. He asked me, okay, listen. How much do you love this bike? I said, okay, I depends on the money. If it's super expensive and super time consuming, I don't care that much. I really love the bike. It was special to me because I used it all the time. It meant a lot. But when it comes to money and how much it would cost to fix it and the like general hassle of dealing with a bike that you have to fix and wait and I didn't care that much about the bike. sadly for the bike. So I left. I went to a bike shop, looked at the bike. I saw that they have a sale on mountain bikes, which was the type of bike I personally prefer. I really like mountain bikes. I don't drive in the mountains or off-road that much, mostly just normal roads. But I like the big tires. I like how it feels. I like that if I were to go off-road, I'm able to. It will drive perfectly. I think it drives perfectly on asphalt as well. So I wanted a mountain bike. And there was a sale on mountain bikes. So I bought a mountain bike. It was great. I thought I would get the bike the same day. When I went there first, tried the bike, said, okay, I will come back. I did this during lunch. So I spent my whole lunch first checking the repair prices and stuff, and then look at a new bike. That's my lunch. I didn't get time to eat, so during that time I think that day I didn't eat since breakfast. So I was walking probably like 12 hours without like on 400 calories. That's with I worked out before, I went to school, walked around with the bike, all that with 400 calories. Not much. I think people probably suffer with worse worse situations, but it was something. But I said, okay, I will come back. I will check on the bike. I will probably buy it. I will buy it after school. So I left. I came back. I was ready to, okay, I'm pay now. And then it was, no. You don't get the bike now. You have to wait till tomorrow. You get the bike tomorrow. We need to prepare it. So, oh, god damn it. I was expecting to be able to take the bike and drive home. But no, that was not happening. I had to take the bus of shame again home that day, and I didn't get the bike. But it was reserved, so they were preparing it. It was going to be ready for the next day, and it was. I picked it up after school, took the bike home. I drove the bike as work, delivering food. It worked perfectly. The gear was working. The brakes was working. My old bike, the front back brake didn't work, but these brakes works. It's a totally new bike, so everything just works perfectly. It's like driving butter compared to my old bike. It's amazing. I love the new bike. If you have a bad bike and you maybe need a new bike and have the money, I think you should buy a new bike, because new bike, it's amazing. It makes life so easier. It's not as heavy on your legs either if you have a new bike. It's just better to a degree to have a new bike. On your legs, on time, on everything, it's great. But I think you can live with old bikes as well. As I said, the old one I had, 10 years old, have been a pleasure to drive. I loved it. It's sad that I can't use it anymore, but it's nice to have a new bike, and it kind of looks the same as my old one. So it's a reminder of the old one. I will never forget it. It's the old bike have a place in my heart forever. I'm gonna take a break real quick, and we will be right back. And we are back. Okay, so following up my bike conversation or talk, I'm thinking we can talk about the iPhone 14 Pro. In my situation, the 14 Pro Max, because I have the big one. I upgraded from an XS or 10s Max. It's more correctly said, and the change not that significant, honestly. There's a big change, of course. It's faster. It works amazingly. It's powerful. Got great camera. It got the dynamic island and all that kind of stuff. It's fast, great screen, a lot of good stuff. But I didn't notice it that much changing actually, and I don't think people today will notice that much of a change in their phones when upgrading nowadays, because phones are really similar now. There's not that big of a jump from different models as I feel like there used to be, at least with Apple's phones. And that's the phones I personally love the most. I am a big Apple fanboy. I'm sad to say. I love Apple. They really got a tight grip around my neck. I'm stuck in the Apple ecosystem. I really like all the products and I eat them up like, I don't know, like candy, I guess. If you're a 5-year-old kid eating candy, you'd love it. I love them. I buy it if I can and if I have the economy for it. So yeah, but they haven't done that much. As well with the Apple Watch. I will get to the Apple Watch. I have a bad thing of always changing the subject like super quick if I start to mention it. But okay, the iPhone. The biggest change in iPhones, I think, personally, they was the jump from having buttons to no button. Like the new display, the 10 display, when they went from the iPhone 8, I think, to the iPhone 10, or they released on the same day, I think, and the iPhone 7 to the iPhone 10. I would probably more say that was a big change because then they removed the button and they made this whole notch design, which I think it worked. It was a great change. It was a big jump. They also I guess the change of the general case of the phone, going from the iPhone 5 to the iPhone 6, starting to make like a curved edge, which they have now gone back to their iPhone 5 and 4 roots with the edge, with the sharp edges on the phone again, which is way better, I think. And they also have, of course, the cameras. They just increased the amount and the size of the camera. The iPhone 14 Pro camera are humongous. They are giant. It's a big part of the phone. I have had to change a lot of bike mounts because of the camera bump. The camera is so huge it doesn't fit in most like bike mounts now, especially those that you fit on top of the steering wheel. There are a lot of inconveniences with the big camera, especially on accessories. But it doesn't matter. You just have to find the accessories made for this model. But you can't use that much of an old accessories for it because it's so huge. But the dynamic island is a great like addition to the phone. You don't use it that much, but when it appears, it's just amazing. It's seamless. It works great. I use it mostly for music and just to like super quickly jump between apps. Again, mostly music, but it's great. I like how it morphs into the different activities, like especially Face ID, because then it goes from this long pill into like a small little box. It's super satisfying and smooth, and I really like it. I love it really much. So yeah. But yeah, I don't think there's that much else to say about the phone except those things. You won't really notice that much of a difference. I think the biggest difference is the whole iOS 16, but every phone get iOS 16, so it doesn't really matter if you get a new phone to get it. You can't just use the old one. I know it's pretty battery draining, iOS 16, but it doesn't matter. They're going to fix it. I hope it matters. I'm sorry, but I hope they'll fix it, because they should. Because it's annoying how the battery life isn't that great. Anyways, let's talk about the Apple Watch Ultra. I have the Apple Watch SE. Love it. It's an amazing watch. Sadly, the battery is pretty bad. It dies. I'm pretty active. I work out in the morning. I wake up early. I wear the watch the whole day. And I also bike for 3 to 4 hours during my delivery food job. So before I deliver food, I need to charge the watch, because it can't last those hours just checking my heart rate the whole time, which is annoying. I have to charge it twice a day now, like once in the evening and once before I leave for the bike. If not, it won't last. It had died on me once when I was out biking, which is super annoying, because you lose a ton of data and information about your activities. So that's annoying, but I still love it. I love the Apple Watch. My only issue with Apple and Apple Watches recently has been that I don't feel like they changed the design that much. They haven't changed much about the Apple Watches. Like, in general, they add like 1 or 2 more features every year, and they make the bezels just a bit thinner every year. So, but it's not that much of a change, except this year when they announced the Apple Watch Ultra, which is a redesign. It's just way better. There's shit ton of features. There's a big price jump if you go from just a standard like finish Apple Watch. But if you go from like the stainless steel Apple Watch, it's just like a $50 increase, which I don't see why you would buy just a stainless steel one at that point, unless you like the small like silvery design. But yeah, it looks great. I think everybody who wants it will have use of it. I don't think you have to be an athlete or do like crazy activities to buy it. It's expensive, yeah, but it lasts for a long time, and it got a lot of features you probably won't use, but it looks cool. It's a big, chunky, nice boy. And yeah, I think it's great. And I really want one, but it's, again, big price, pricey boy. That is a fact. And about pricey stuff, if you want to buy those pricey items, this is not an ad. I realize it kind of sounds like I'm jumping into an ad. This is my first episode. I have no sponsors, so it's not an ad. But yeah, if you're struggling, you want to buy those expensive stuff, and then you realize, oh no, I just bought a super expensive watch. I have no money, or you have a little bit money at least, but I need food. I need to feast on protein and healthy stuff to build muscles and be healthy. What can I do? I cannot buy chicken. It's too expensive, but it got a lot of protein and stuff. So this is going into my little pro tip on if you work out a lot and are active and need protein and cheap food. I really would recommend, and you're on a budget, I would recommend buying beans. I have really changed up my diet because of price. Because I found out that beans, if you buy dried beans, it's super cheap, first of all, and it got half the amount of protein than chicken, sadly. But if you are active a lot and don't have that much time to eat anyways, you don't really need that lean product. I eat some chicken. You probably should eat some chicken at least, and not your big like dietitian. I don't have that much knowledge and stuff, but I find beans to be great because you just buy them dried. They're super duper cheap and they are dry, like just in small packages. You put them in water for 10 to 12 hours to prepare them, and then you cook them for another hour. They are ready. You probably should like prepare them, not for just one meal but for a bunch of meals, and then you save like a lot of money on just beans in general. You can buy canned beans, but they're a bit more expensive again, you know? It's way cheaper to just prepare them yourself. And it takes some time, but they just lay in water, like, for most of the time. And then you cook them, you just make them, they stand there, put a timer on, look over them for a bit during that hour. But then you have saved a lot of money on beans. And you got a lot of protein, got a tasted food, and fiber and stuff. You put the beans in some tomato, put some salsa in it, maybe some spices, spice it up, have some rice, and you got a great meal for every single day, multiple times a day if you are like me and eat a lot of calories to maintain everything. Anyway, that's my pro tip. Big recommend. And we should move on now to my next thing I want to talk about. This is the last thing, sadly. It's a sad time now. We're going to... It's not sad what I'm going to say, but we're going to... I wanted to talk about the new NVIDIA graphic card, the 40 series, and how it's double as good as the best 30 series graphic card, which is amazing that it's just jumped that much. You can now play games in 8K with, like, I don't remember how crazy amount of frame rates you can have, but it was just crazy amount, double the everything than the best 30 series, like the 3090 10 Ti or something. Which is great. The big leap in graphic card we got. Do you need it? If you don't know if you need it, you don't need it, because most games don't play in 8K. And you don't. Do you have an 8K monitor? Do you have games to play 8K in? Probably not. So I don't know if you really need a 3090. I mean the 40 series, the 4090, which is also hella expensive. It's super duper expensive. So if you want to sell your soul, if you want to sell yourself or your kidney or your whatever to get it, sure. I don't think you need it, but if you really want it and you feel like you need it, if you need it, you probably are going to be able to pay for it, because then you're doing stuff that need that kind of stuff, and then you probably are making money off that stuff. But it's huge. If you have seen a picture of it, it's humongous. I like that word, humongous. It's big. It's a big brick of graphic card. It's great that we have that big of a leap in technology in some spaces, but it's overkill. It's big overkill, but yeah, it's cool. I wouldn't mind getting one, but I don't need it. I don't have anything to like really use it. I don't have a good enough processor either, or I need to upgrade everything about my computer to be able to even use it. So yeah, I think that's the same situation for most people as well. So it's crazy overkill, but now we have it. It's great, but yeah, I think you should probably save your money for that and buy it when we have stuff that actually can use it like to a fuller degree. So yeah, that's my take on the 40 series. It's great. I love it. I think it's good that we have that, but not yet. But it probably will push other companies to like develop more, like to even push the boundaries of everything even more, because I feel like technology has have like a slow incline lately. But that's just my point of view. I might be wrong. You can tell me I'm wrong. I will read your opinion. Maybe I will realize, I am super duper wrong. And we can have a discussion in the comments or whatever. But yeah, that's my point of view. Most of what I say is my point of view. I'm open for comments and whatever you want to say. Say it, and I will read it with an open mind, depending on what you say. If you say some really bad and controversial shit, I will probably not agree, but I will keep an open mind to most stuff. I have my limits, but most stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for watching or listening or just letting me occupy your time for quite a bit. I know how important time is for people, so thank you for using your time on me. And yeah, I think this was a great first episode. I hope you enjoyed your time with me today, and I will see you in the next one. This was the Clapped Podcast, and bye bye.